Wednesday here, July 30th, and we just had some big news come out this week, so we're going to jump into it. Sorry, I was supposed to go live about 25 minutes ago, but we were running late on some development with the team on Mercatus. So let's jump into it. I'm going to start with some of the big moves we've seen today. We had a monster day today, and some of the things we're working on today, I was doing some analysis. We had some outlooks on some stocks. We were checking out APLD because APLD was one we have been very bullish on recently. So yesterday we did an analysis on APLD. I have the chart up here of what we were kind of looking for. We're looking for a move just like this. This was yesterday's analysis. I think we did it here on, let's see what it was. Yesterday, APLD, we did a live stream on the 29th. It's the 30th today. And we were looking for this 15% move on APLD. Not only did we get the 15% move, but look at that. It literally says 15.45% as it moved up into that $11.50 range on APLD. So not only did it kind of validate this trend, this uptrend here, but we see it start to push up and continue out of this consolidation level and maybe making its run now back up into that $14 range for APLD. Why were we watching APLD? Let's just take a look here. Looks like the screen is a little bit cut. I just want to be able to pull it in a little bit. Maybe that's better. Is that better there? You guys could see the screen a little nicer. Okay. When it comes to APLD, they are a data center company focusing specifically on building to the point of generation data centers. So they focus on the construction and they use wind turbines, solar, and hydroelectric to make sure that their data centers are efficient. Not only that, they have a $7 billion deal with CoreWeave. And this deal here that they had there is accelerating. It says you got the AI factories they're building essentially with super microcomputer. They're working with NVIDIA, Dell, and Intel. And they came in with their earnings today. So I want to see the chat. I'm going to pull it up real quick so I get an idea of where you guys are. I hope you're having a great day today and that you all are enjoying your Wednesday afternoon. I know it's a little bit later live stream than we normally have, so I appreciate your patience. Thank you for tuning in. And let's jump in here. So some of the comments. Jose says, hey, Will, what's up, Jose? Marcus, you got Gustavo says APLD with some rocket ships. APLD. We got some APLD comments. Let's get this money, people say. Howdy, everyone. Someone commented earlier, I think it's Tristan, said he made $150,000 on this play. Tremendous. So we also got APLD looking bullish there. Definitely to the moon comments. See a few there. That's beautiful. So we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna get into it here. I see Johnny's in the chat. You got Marty. Rich, hey Rich, happy to have you here. Meta crushed it with their earnings. That's true, Rich. It's absolutely true. Did they? Or is that not true? We'll have to check it out. I think it's true. I'll have to jump in. So APLD, you got this move up into this $11.50 range. We now have a resistance level here at $11.40. It's a previous resistance level that it's been holding for the last few months. You could actually even extend it back, right? We had it over all the way back to December here of 2024 and further for APLD. This resistance level, it just broke above it on earnings. We got to see now. This is a great place for it to be. For example, even if it's up 15%, to look for new trades. Why? Because how many of you guys ever look at something at the top and you're like, oh, I don't want to buy the top? Well, it's okay if you buy the top. Let me tell you, it's all right if you buy the top. It's all right if you buy the bottom. It's all right if you buy the middle, as long as you have a what? It's the most important thing to have in all of your investing, and it's called a plan. It's your risk management. So when we got this resistance level now potentially acting as a support around $11.40. Kind of a good key to below that, maybe set a stop, but we're going to be looking for a move here, another 20% swing up into that level for APLD. That's the bullish outlook if we can see market sentiment continue. It's been a roller coaster day. Anybody else have a roller coaster day today in the markets? David says, we got good news on BigBear. Let's take a look there. They got the earnings coming up. Anybody else have a roller coaster day? Maybe it's just me. Because gosh, we got into lunar stock. So I'll get into it in a minute. Actually, let's stick to APLD. But okay, maybe I'm the only one that had a roller coaster day today in the markets. It felt like a roller coaster day. All right, let's take a look at the financials. So APLD comes in with their new earnings. What do? They come in with the net income still a little bit negative, but they're increasing their revenue, holding above $50 million in revenue. That's good. They're holding it to be on track for what could be a $250 million year, which would increase their financial incomes year over year. And then you got balance sheet. They just recorded balance sheet. It shows signs of a little bit of an increase in their liabilities, but a pretty big increase there in their assets. So again, looking good. They're now almost up to $2 billion in assets, surging about $300 million on their balance sheet, and their total liabilities up about 1.6 million, or 160 million, excuse me. So that's what's going on. And the market cap's at 2 billion. So if we're looking at what could be maybe they're in the next year or so, their first $1 billion year in revenue, that would be their target, I would imagine. And they got almost 2 billion in assets, and their market cap's at 2 billion. Do they have room to run? I would imagine so. One other thing to note, AMD's had a lot of institutional interest. So you can kind of see the institutions buying here as well. You got more increased positions, BlackRock, State Street, and what have you. So we're going to be watching APLD at that $11.40 range. And we're looking for that 20% increase, potentially up here. I wish I could pull up the video yesterday because we were like so on this level yesterday. We said, this is what we're looking for, this 15% swing. And it's exactly what it did yesterday. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Now, why was today a roller coaster day? I see the comments. Someone's like, yes, up and down. You got the Fed cuts. People are like, it's not just you. All right. People are like, yep, absolutely. All right. So definitely a roller coaster day. And what did we see happen? Well, a couple things. We got our AMD stock crushing it up to 81%. AMDL's up 65%. Rigetti's up 47%. This is just the last few months that we've entered. So really good to see that AMD was on that run, leading what was, they're in space tech because they provide the microchips for Starlink. But over in AI, AMD almost leading the way there. And then BBAI makes a big recovery, about 6% after dipping. So let's jump into BBAI. So BBAI, what we talked about yesterday, we were saying, look at this downtrend that's happening. And we're looking for what could be a bounce around $6 here, $6.20, and maybe make a recovery into this level. It's about a 7% recovery. Started the day off today right here, continuing down with that dip to that level and then pushing back up. The next targets for BigBear is about $7.20, and it does have a previous support there now at $6.50 that it just surged above. So we got to watch that with BigBear. A lot of comments on people saying BigBear AI is on it for the World Cup, and we're going to go into that a little bit. One thing that just came out recently with BigBear, it was over on LinkedIn. So I don't know if it's going to let me do this, but here we go. LinkedIn. This is directly from BigBear AI, and this is what they said. With mega events like the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and the 2028 Olympics, both coming to America in the next couple of years, leaders across the government and industry have a rare opportunity to advance national security and elevate the traveler experience. What does that mean? BigBear is saying, hey, we see these big events. We see what's happening here. And shout out, I think it was the Uncompromised one. I saw a comment on there. There he is, James Ortiz. He's usually in our live sessions. I don't know if he's there today. But you'll recognize him from YouTube. He liked the post. But why is that important? You got the World Cup coming up, and the main focus for BigBear now is deploying this very scan here. And this is their biometric tech. And this is the type of technology that is getting deployed at major airports. And one of their main focuses in border security and homeland security, as their CEO, Kevin McAleen in there. How many of you guys think this is like a kind of a perfect storm? There's a little bit of speculative. We'll get into the financials, but really just the main facts. You got a CEO that was previously acting Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And that was during the first Trump administration. Got it? Before founding a company, which was bought by BigBear. Then he was a commissioner. He was also, or before that, he was the commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So that's focusing on counterterrorism, border security, immigration enforcement, things like that. Now, and I know it sounds kind of like, oh, that's very like border security, all these things. But really, they need more tech there. Tammy just walked by. So I bring you up, Tammy, because I'm like, literally what happens is we went through a bunch of paperwork for her to do the Argentina to become able to travel in and out of the United States.
Yeah.
You remember, right?
Absolutely.
So like this company is doing it to where
I heard you talking about it.
It's kind of scary, right? But like imagine and say hi to Tammy, everybody in the chat.
Hi.
Welcome her and say Messi or Argentina. But basically, guys, like this company, if they're focusing on solutions, so they focus on biometric stuff.
Oh, this is super cool.
And honestly, like,
yes,
isn't it better than the TSA? Because the TSA are like sometimes they're extra. Where are you coming from? What are you doing? Where?
Yes, and it makes it uncomfortable, the communication.
Not only that, but then what? It takes a ton of time, right?
And they take you to places, actually. I have been moved into a private room before.
Right, and every time we come into the Miami airport or something, guys, what happens is like the line for the international is so long.
Oh my God, yes. Like Miami.
I get through in 2 seconds through the airport security. Tammy takes like an hour.
Well, there was 2 ways, and it was more. I went to the tourist side, but because of how I looked, the lady literally told me like go that way. But if it was this, it would have been different.
Right. So that's the thing. So they come out with the biometrics, and they've deployed into all these airports. They got Denver, they got JFK, Los Angeles. So now what happens is most likely if they get this new contract with TSA, which is Department of Homeland Security, then it's biometric. This is what they're looking for. AI-driven remote screening. Reduce the reliance on manual labor. So people aren't doing it. Integration with TSA and all those things. So body scanning and all that. So what happens is what that means and what that does for the facial recognition here is now you just walk through. Whoa. And you just walk right through and then it scans your face. Boom. And then you walk.
This is like savage.
It's crazy, right? Someone says CAO Besha. What does that mean?
Just beautiful.
Beautiful.
Well, beauty, yeah.
She is.
250 shares on. All right.
All right. Cool. Excellent, guys. So anyway, I bring her into the conversation because it seems like a kind of big deal, right? I don't know. I feel like it's a big deal. So not only that, but they got ARCA, so they're also using the computer vision on what seems to be the satellites here. So that's kind of the outlook. Now we got the earnings coming up for BigBear. They have she came on a B2 visa, Jeremy. And now she doesn't have to worry about that stuff. She's got her green card and everything else. But anyway, revenue here, you got $30 million. You got total assets up to 400 million. They got a lot riding on this next earnings. What are we looking for BigBear? I mean, if they make this move before earnings, that would be very bullish, a 25% increase up into that $8.50 range. What could we see potentially before earnings? I mean, really what we're watching is this new support at $6.50 that kind of broke above. Maybe we get that recovery into $7, but if the market corrects something like that, next heavy support that we talked about that it kind of validated today again was right there around $6 a share, $6.20 to watch with BigBear. As far as bullish outlook and bearish, as you can see, I mean, we can remove everything. It kind of looks like it's consolidating just from left to right. It's kind of consolidating, and now we're watching to see it hold this 625 and looking for that move up into 850. That's how it looks right now. And so when it comes to BigBear's moves and what they're working in, the main thing to consider is that an AI company in this day and age, and the type of innovations that we're seeing right now, this is not something that is, okay, they're steadily working towards it and we're going to have this result. It's not like that. It's more like every once in a while, I literally did the math, every 15 years, the World Cup happens in the U.S. Or on average, the Olympics happen every 15 years in the U.S. So specifically in the U.S., on average, the U.S. only gets, for example, the Olympics every 15 years. But then you got the World Cup. That's an even bigger thing. That doesn't happen every 15 years even. It's less than that. And both of those things are happening in the next 3 years. Not only that, you have an AI boom taking place with AI-driven analytics, and BigBear is really just trying to make a run here to be one of the top players. With a $2 billion market cap, did they get back above it today? No, they're 1.9. They're looking to capitalize on a market opportunity of between 10 to 20 billion, which could potentially put them in that 5 to 10x territory. Now, again, that's where I get speculative, and that's where I say maybe they get that big contract. They already have contracts, they have revenue, and the balance sheet looks good. But again, that's where things get a little speculative. What we know right now is they have some earnings coming up, and we got to watch those closely to ensure that they line up with where things are going. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys, and I hope that that is something that can be of service for you. David says, Big Bull AI. A little bit crazy here, David, but I'm going to drop something in the chat. It is a link for you. I did this in a spur of the moment thing. It was rather sporadic and kind of an impulse creation. But basically what I did was I created a pillow, and it says Big Bull AI. And I might as well copy it and send it in the chat there for you. And I think it might be worth a look. It was something that I wanted to order, so I haven't got it yet. I don't know if it works here. Let me see if I could pull it up. I just sent it. Here it is. So it's in the StockMate apparel. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with StockMate, StockMate is our community where we go live every day at market open at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. And today we went live. We were trading Lunar stock, which again, it was a roller coaster. I'll get into it. It actually ended up recovering, which was crazy. But here it is, StockMate apparel. If you enter into the store, there is this cool profit plan cup. It's a mug that I created, and it has a plan on it where you can write your profit margins. But here it is, BigBear pillow. I can't wait till this thing gets here. But if you want to grab it, it literally cost me about $22 to ship to you, and have built, and it's a $24.99 pillow. BigBear. I just dropped the link there. If you want to grab it, man. It was an impulse thing. I wasn't expecting to make sales. In fact, we've only had more sales than I would expect. But it's not like a money thing. It's more of just a fun thing, right? But hey, it does support the business. So $24.99 there for the BigBear.ai pillow. Anyway, let's jump back in. So we got to get a good analysis there on BigBear. I think when we're looking, Patrol says hope APLD pulls back. That's an interesting question. The other thing there with APLD that we were talking about, just really good earnings. Right, they came in with some good earnings. Revenue was holding steady, and their net income looked better. I wouldn't expect a pullback. Could you see a pullback? Sure, but just keep in mind that we're talking about them securing a $7 billion deal recently, and working with NVIDIA. They're building data centers, so they're in a very bullish market right now. So the next target, I would imagine the support here about $11.50, $11.40. Maybe as low as $11.13 on the support there. That previous resistance zone right there. And a 20% upside to about $14 a share. And also the analysis that we got on APLD. This considers all of the analysis that we do. We feed in financial reports. We feed in the charts. And it gives us a full analysis via OpenAI's GPT Pro model with a proprietary analysis prompt engineering method that we use. And it gives us a projection here for the next 3 months. Looks like it's quite bullish on APLD. So it's interesting to watch. You got some pretty bullish outlooks on APLD here for the next part of this quarter. And so anyway, this is a tool that I'm really excited to share with you guys. If you want to get it, it's the first link in the description. You can join that list for free. First link in the description. So let's jump in. So there's short positions on APLD. It could have a short squeeze. Absolutely. We could see that part of the reason why it continues up. And let's take a look. The other one that I really wanted to go into today, outside of APLD, which is data center, really in a nice spot for the market's movement today, is that we have also a contract there for BBAI potentially. So let me pull that up and see what that's about. So did we get some news there on BBAI today? Is that what is happening? Let's see if something might have came out today. No, it doesn't look like it. It's possible that news you're talking about could have been published by a third-party source. Let's see what there is on BigBear. Let's see, BBAI. I'm trying to search BigBear just like a regular Google search. There we go. All right, let's see what they have here on Google. There's a lot of hype articles. Why they're skyrocketing. Under the radar stock could beat big tech in 2025. That's kind of cool. Data analytics software company. A lot of them are hype articles here. Okay. A lot of, it's like, are you going to become a millionaire with this ticker? I would never say that. I mean, I guess that's fine. But morally, I'm never going to tell you guys, buy this now. You're never going to hear that from me. All right, let's see. There's some news somebody says of Nabisco. Nabisco. Someone says Nabisco is acquiring BBAI, and I don't see anything about that. So, yeah, it doesn't seem to be any connections there. Not sure. Now, the other earnings we had there, we had Meta earnings. Let's take a look at how that looks. So, Meta came out with some earnings. They're soaring. And here is the investor relations article. So, Meta today reported financial results for the quarter ending June 30th, 2025. And we've had a strong quarter, both in terms of our business and community, they said, and that they were able to build some of the best super intelligence, came in with financial highlights that were fairly bullish. According to CNBC, we'll use a CNBC article, which might be a little bit better, maybe. Let's take a look at the hard evidence of the Yahoo Finance, but looks like it says Meta beats quarter 2 expectations. Projected 47 billion, they came in at 50 billion, so an extra $3 billion on the revenue. And the stock jumped about 8%, and they got significant spending on the AI infrastructure. Other thing, the EPS came in at $7.14, which beat the $5.89 estimate. Yeah, so really, really big for Meta. They climbed 10%, you could see, when they beat their earnings. Really, just in short, their sales came in super bullish, and things look good for Meta. That's why we see them surge today. The other one that we saw do really good today was Microsoft. So Microsoft came in and was surging about 8% after hours to all-time highs. Is that all-time highs? Just to double check. Yes, all-time highs there to $518 a share, or 558, excuse me. They closed at 518. Microsoft just absolutely crushing it as well. When we look at their earnings, this is really interesting. So they're in data centers, we know, but they ended up beating their estimates, and then sales rose 18%, and their new cloud revenue that they use AI with their Azure, it's called Azure, revenue grew by 39%. I don't know if this is a coincidence, but one of the other things about Azure is that not only are they AI models, they also have their quantum setup. So they have Rigetti there as a company to use through the cloud. They have IonQ there. They have Pascal. They have Quantinuum there. So also in that Azure side of their business that had a big quarter recently. Again, that was one of their best quarters, and they came in with beating estimates, and their Azure cloud revenue was up 34% to $75 billion. So this cloud here in Microsoft did really good. And I'm wondering, is it anything to do with the Rigetti? Is it anything to do with the quantum companies that are in there that you could tap into through their cloud? It's just a question. I want to know. I'd like to see the breakdown of where the revenue is coming from within Azure. And I think we'll have to look at that on Microsoft's earnings. So that's going to be a focus. Last one, I also wanted to just, at a glance jump into here. It's going to be Lunar stock. LUNR is a company in the space tech industry. Now, space tech is one of the industries that we've been watching very, very closely. We love to invest in companies like Rocket Lab and Black Sky and Redwire. And today, a little bit volatile. We saw it sell down to 1121 and then jump back up to 1170. I actually still have a position here. I don't know how it's doing at the moment. We could take a look. Looks like we're up about $181 a share, or $181 profit at the moment. That was an interesting one because, you know, we got in this morning somewhere around here, or where was it? This is the morning, so this was this morning. We got in right around here. Somewhere in here. We got in on Lunar. Oh, no, it's right around here. And we ended up seeing it dip big time on Lunar. And I get this email from Matt Evans. Matt Evans is StockMate. And he sends me an email. He says, sorry, Will. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have shared the news about Lunar stock that they got a $10 billion or $10 million contract because I didn't want everybody to buy and then watch the stock go down. And I said, first of all, everybody's educated. If we're investing based on a contract for the day, 9.8 million, and that's kind of what we were doing, right? It dipped big, and then we got in, and then it dipped even further. He sends me a message, says, Will, you know, went down a lot. Really sorry. I didn't want people to lose money as a result. I'm like, this is why we focus on just the facts. This is why we focus on the intrinsic values. This is why we don't focus on pump and dumps, and why we make sure that the value and the integrity of the companies make sense. And so don't worry about it, Matt. This is totally normal. And so I don't know if he responded yet. I haven't seen it, but StockMate there pointed out that the company was just this morning securing a $9.8 million contract, and their financials have been interesting because they're still at $2 billion market cap, and their revenues around $60 million in the last quarter. Net income just holding pretty well around zero, with their assets surging. Their financials look very similar in their revenues to APLD. Not as much cash on hand, but anyway, really looked good. And I said, you know what? Let's get into them. And we ended up buying them this morning. Guess what, Matt? You made me $181. Maybe some other people might have. We did have an initial stops set there, and then we ended up changing our stop. So, you know, I get it. I get it that you know, that's something, but just shout out to Matt. It's good that you bring the info. Yeah, he's actually a part of the machine. Tammy says he should get a discount. He's a part of the machine that has access to this system here for the AI projections. And again, that's the first link in the description if you want to join it. Matt's given us good, you know, this idea to add in a balance sheet so we could see it at a glance here, down here, the balance sheet. So I could see the annual, I could see the different quarters, I could click on the quarters, I can get the balance sheet, the quarterly, the annual. This was Matt's idea, actually. He said, you know, Will, I'm going to the future chart, I'm using it, I'm getting the good projections from the AI. Next thing I want to do is I said, what do you do next? He said, I go over to Google and I go over to Yahoo and I want to look at their balance sheet. I said, all right, we'll get it in there. So we got the financials out with the balance sheet. Next, we got the income statements. All these are just widgets that we're adding in. Super powerful right now for the Mercatus system. Now, when it comes to the companies, last one I really wanted to touch on for connected companies. What was that other stock we wanted to touch on for today? I think it was, we went over Lunar. Oh, okay, let's just finish the analysis there on Lunar. We are looking at this kind of support here. We're looking for a recovery potential in this overall uptrend. You can kind of see this trend develop with LUNR. And they just secured that contract today, but didn't move much, only about 1%. And we're looking for this recovery potential of about 15 to 20% recovery there on LUNR. And we got a stop there down around 1120. We ended up moving it from 1150. And so now we're looking for 1156. We're looking for this move up into that $13 range there with LUNR. Recently pulled back and again, just secured a nice contract yesterday. So if you are in stocks right now, I want you guys to go ahead and just, can you just comment for me the ticker symbols that you're most interested in seeing, and the ticker symbol, the companies that you invest in, that for you to be more aware of what's going on with that company, that you can make more money or have a better idea of how to plan or have insights into that company. Can you comment your ticker symbols? If you know that we already cover it, that's fine too. You can do that. And Mark, that news there that you're saying is not correct there with Nabisco acquiring BBAI again. We just verified that. All right, so we got Mark, we got Redwire, we got RDW. I'm writing them down here. Let me just do this here. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's look at the chat here. So we got RDW. You got Rivian, or RVN, I think that's Rivian, CTM. Michael, you got PFE, that's Pfizer. CVM. Okay. Any other ones? Is there any other specific ticker symbols that would, if you had more information and insights about the company or had an update to, it would make it easier for you to either make more money or continue to grow your position? All right, there we go. There we go. SRPT, you got, okay, you got this one. Ricky says BBAI, you got Michael says PFE. Keith says, hey, what's up, Keith? You got David with Planet Labs. Alan coming in with FUBU. Waste Management there from Booby. Okay. NVTS, Navitas. All right, Keith. Nightscope. Now, I'll tell you, I got a couple hundred ticker symbols written down. But we kind of vet them, and then based on how they look, if they look good, then we'll bring them to you. You know, it's like, I don't just, okay, we're going to cover them all. Like, we like to cover them, and sometimes we do, but we also just, to make sure we focus on quality, you know? All right, you got D Pro from Rich. All right, Rich. All right, guys. All right. I'm writing them down. Hold on. There's like 50 now. Okay, all right, hold on. SCCO. Might be easier to take a screenshot. BAIXHL. All right. It's true. You ask, you receive, man. Seek and you shall find. That's for sure. You're gonna get some insights here. Omex from Mark. You got Octavia says WLF. All right. QUBT. I've seen that one for sure. PDYN. Okay. Paladin. Yeah, actually, that's a really interesting one. We got that on our watch list as well. Great, guys. Great. Hey, I appreciate you all. I got one more there with Joby. ASISP. Cool. We got some aviation stocks there. That's great. And I hope you have a great rest of your day today. When it comes to the analysis we've been doing, we've really focused heavily. That's why I say it was a roller coaster day. We focused heavily on quantum computing, AI stocks, data center for sure. Defense is a really big market right now, especially with the BigBear. That's been crazy. But I also want to find some emerging markets. Quantum, I think, is right on the edge. That's a big one. But you want to be able to find those emerging stocks early. And in order to do that, there has to not only be, people finding them, but there also has to be a level of integrity in the financials and in the news and everything. That's what we really want to focus on. And so we're going to be doing that for sure. We'll take a look. I got some more ticker symbols. I think what I'll do is I'll probably take a screenshot too of the recent ones. There you are. Just drop it on the iPad there. And I appreciate you all. If you are committed to learning how to invest more confidently, you want to join us in our daily live sessions, just a friendly reminder, I'll send you a free t-shirt and I'll shoot it over to you anywhere in the world. And you can join us in our live session as soon as tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's basically an email that you get that shoots into your email inbox every morning right about 15 minutes before market open. You get an email, takes you to a private live session. In that live session, we're trading stocks as we do every morning. And then inside of StockMate, you also get the targets for the week. You get earnings, the different companies when they're reporting exactly in a structured way that's easy to digest. Some of you guys have seen how we do that. But again, one of the biggest things is being in the room. Every time I felt held back by anything, it's because I don't have a level of knowledge. And sometimes, like I said, that's why I just asked you guys for these ticker symbols, is so that I know that those ticker symbols are vetted, because some of the best insights, what we just discovered is we have over 24 millionaires in StockMate. That is because I call every customer and I talk with every single customer that is in StockMate and is an investor. So I have a lot of analytics. And one of the things I've noticed is the best insights, like how we were able to make that $180 so far today on that lunar trade, is because of investors in StockMate. And so sometimes just getting in the room and being around the people that are doing it can be really helpful for you. And right now we have lifetime access. If you want to get access without the subscription or anything like that, we have changed our modeling, and most likely that will be going away for the lifetime access for StockMate. We have had it and we've been holding it out and we've kind of gone back and forth, but for a limited time right now, you have lifetime access if you want it for the recurring daily live sessions. So I appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to join, it's the second link in the description. Simply just go grab a look, and I'd love to see you there tomorrow morning at market open. Thanks so much for tuning in. If I earned your thumbs up, smash it. Again, smash the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, Booby. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Lucas, Tyler, Rich, Keith. You got Albertson. You got Akramol. You got Michael, Steven, Alan, Keith, Octavia, Marty, Tang, Benny. Appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.